As the president and governors on the two coasts contend over who has position to end COVID-19 keep on being at family unit orders, specialists cautioned Tuesday that expanded or irregular social separating may maybe be significant into 2022. Until at long last researchers find a compelling immunization, social separating may be important to forestall an excessive amount to deal with the country's emergency clinics, specialists wrote in the diary Science. Indeed, even in the gathering of evident end, the creators included, infection, observation ought to be dealt with looking at that as a resurgence in disease could be reachable as late as 2024. Dwell updates, the latest on coronavirus in Wisconsin everyday summary, what you should think about coronavirus in Wisconsin offer your story. We need to banter to clinical specialists, medical caretakers, and numerous others tormented by coronavirus. The paper in Science tended to questions that have been sneaking in the history as individuals have ingested pictures of mass graves and defeat emergency clinics. When will it be innocuous to emerge from our properties, and by what method will we know? The specialists, all from Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Network Wellbeing and Wellness, utilized PC demonstrating to give a brief look into changed consequences for our distribute pandemic not so distant. The creators composed that the entirety of their items accepted the new coronavirus can bring about flare ups whenever of schedule year. This would repudiate prior proposals that it would fade or even disappear in more sweltering climate conditions. The analysts additionally recognized that the inconceivably assignment of demonstrating is loaded with key questions. A solitary essential knew the level of Americans tainted by the new coronavirus might be settled by broad COVID-19 tests, a thing the country has been not able to do so remarkably. Till these tests is finished, prosperity masters won't realize what number of individuals have gotten the infection and just showed no signs and side effects. Two other vital questions: how a great deal in susceptibility do COVID-19 survivors get, and how drawn out that invulnerability keeps going. Despite the fact that the creators revealed there is verification that people who have contracted different coronaviruses gotten some resistance from extreme intense respiratory disorder, SARS, they couldn't state regardless of if the equivalent is genuine of the intently related infection prompting the present pandemic. They concluded that discovering medications that are useful in 50% the people would assist you with sparing the nation the significant weight of possessing to fabricate twofold its center ability. In the completion, by the by, the paper's creators remaining it to some others to choose how and when social separating is lifted. We don't obtain a circumstance on the fitness of these situations offered the monetary burden that continued separating may force, they stated. However, we watch the most likely calamitous weight on the medicinal services strategy that is anticipated if removing is insufficiently successful as well as not supported for long adequate. These are for the most part only models. A 2005 research appointed by the Naval Force and performed by researchers at the School of Michigan affirmed that genuine estimates taken by 7 American people group during the 1918 Spanish influenza had been viable till they were lifted. At the point when social separating measures halted, conditions quick improved. Edward Bolongia, an irresistible issue disease transmission expert at Marshfield Center Investigation Foundation, guaranteed the group related in the new survey in Science is massively respected. They realize what they're performing and they made reasonable suspicions. Indeed, even now, Bolongia clarified, these are on the whole just models. What we have to see is the thing that happens in the genuine planet when we get our foot off the brake and end social removing. He expressed this sort of an assurance will depend on the possibility to do tests at a sum we've not been in a situation to do yet. Other industry specialists focused on that the structures would in general present a most noticeably terrible circumstance situation where no effective immunizations are created. Nazia Safdar, well-being-related chief of a disease oversee and anticipation at UW Wellbeing and Wellness, said she doesn't figure it will be essential to keep on the current measure of social removing until at long last 2022. By and by, Safdar stated, I accept in case we're to open up significantly more than we have been achieving, it would need to be in a very little space, and controlled a lot of that. You could do extraordinarily serious call following and not overpower the network health framework. On the off chance that we simply state April 24 issues can go again to business, I think we'll get ourselves in a staggeringly practically identical condition to what got us recorded here. Get hold of following empowers prosperity agents to follow the unfurl of contamination from one person to another. Safdar said overall population generally speaking well-being limitations ought to improve gradually, moderately than bouncing precisely from get-togethers of 10 or considerably less to out of nowhere letting incalculable numbers to appear at shows or wearing exercises. Wisconsin's condition could vary from that of the unwinding of the country in light of the vulnerability forced by past weeks' face-to-face political race. I feel we should look out for the open-door aftermath from that to show its experience, said Amanda Simonek, a partner teacher of the study of disease transmission at the Zilber Personnel of Overall Population Prosperity, School of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Simonek focused on that the system of social separating was never at any point a goals, just a way to get us time, limit the people who get unwell and kick the bucket, and permit us to revitalize our medicinal services sources. Until at last an antibody is planned, Simonek referenced, pioneers will facial region and incredibly entangled analytics. Is it reasonable to ask people to take part right now social removing for the future 12 to year and a half, she mentioned. Simultaneously, Simonek guaranteed there is the likelihood that lifting social separation limitations could make it feasible for the illness to contaminate and crush substantially more individuals. We can't neglect to recollect that, she stated, we are regardless speaking about human lives underneath.